So recently I got asked this question. Hiya Brian, I need your advice. I got money to burn at the moment and I'm wondering if it's a good time to move on from my Vega 64 and jump on the 3080 Ti. Damn thing is about $2,000 plus. You think my 64 still has life in it. By the way, congrats on 500k subs. And this is coming from a long-term subscriber. He's actually one of the original 300 subscribers here at Tech Yes City. That was back when my channel was called a different name. And basically with the Vega 64. In today's video, we're going to be answering this question directly, and we're going to be talking about why you shouldn't even fathom the idea of paying over double MSRP for a card that is already a very high margin product on Nvidia's stack, especially the 3080 Ti. Let's discuss.
Hey there, you Apex legend! Mate, get it right, I'm a steel legend.
If you're after a motherboard to support those 11th gen CPUs, then the ASRock Legend H570 has you covered with an 8-phase power design, 2.5 gigabits per second NIC, PCIe 4.0, and base frequency boost to support those max turbo states on any of the 11th gen CPUs, then this motherboard is certainly going to be for you. Links in the description below to find out more. So at $1,199 USD suggested price from Nvidia, this card was already considered by most, and myself included, a money grab from Nvidia. The expected price of this card was considered to be coming in around $1,000. This is where I thought this card would come in at my review, and considering the 3090 was released earlier last year with better performance and double the expensive GDDR6X VRAM for $300 more, it puts the 3080 Ti in a very weird spot. Now, also coupled with the fact that miners aren't going to be targeting this card anywhere near the likes that they would target, say, a 3060 Ti or a 3070, and you have a card that is simply overpriced for gamers. And wait, I think overpriced would be an understatement. Massively overpriced is the correct term. Now, who's doing all this overpricing? Well, I've noticed it's not just the scalpers that are to blame here. I've started to notice that miners are starting to become a little nervous, which we'll talk about in a separate upcoming video, though the advice is going to tie in with this video. And that is retailers are definitely starting to want to put their hands in the proverbial cookie jar, so to speak. And not just the distributors now. They're basically hanging on to their cards for their dear life at high prices in hopes that the unsuspecting gamer, like Manny for example, with some of their hard-earned cash, will eagerly want to get ripped off. And it is actually starting to show. Graphics cards are coming back into stock. The supply shortage is starting to become dictated by the price, and hence we were at a month ago at a crucial leveling for profitability with Ethereum mining, and now we're at a crucial point for prices to start coming down to more realistic levels. And you're thinking, my prices coming down? Brian, this is unheard of. Let me explain. This all boils down ultimately to one big factor, and that is cheap money. We're starting to see the governments are starting to not hand out as much free money as they were before, at least not in Australia. And so when cheap money starts to become less available, well, high prices start to abate. And that is exactly what we're starting to see now. So where do we go from here? Well, in Manny's case, he has already got a Vega 64. And this is a graphics card that is more than capable of playing games, especially the latest games with good frame rates. So waiting in order to upgrade to the latest 3080 Ti would be highly recommended, as prices have reached a peak now, especially for these higher end cards. And the 3080 Ti is being sold for nearly double the already overpriced MSRP. In Australia, these cards are going for 3,000 Aussie dollars, when, for example, the 3080 was first released here, they were going for around 1,300 Aussie dollars. And even then, that was considered over asking price back then. Though at least in the defense of the 3080 Ti, it is still coming under that of a double MSRP when I checked eBay completed listings. The $2,100 mark that these cards are being sold for represents about a 75% markup. Though have a little look at this. When we look at the sales prices of the 3060 Ti's, for example, they are going for around $1,100. Well over the $399 price point that they were suggested to come in at. In fact, that's roughly a 175% markup versus the 75% markup on the 3080 Ti. So this right here is the massive difference that miners add to the price of cards. Chasing pure hash rate per watt, that is profitability, though as the profitability drops, so will the prices of even the mighty 3060 Ti. Though what I'm going to recommend to Manny going forward might seem a little bit outlandish, but it's going to be the Tech Yes take. And I've been doing this for years. I've been getting the deals, buying and selling, doing my flips, and it's something that I'm going to be changing to personally. I'm going to be switching gears into, and that is I would suggest to Manny to sell his Vega 64 for $700 to a miner. And this is what I call the Tech Yes Shuffle. Knowing the market, get yourself a $200 RX 470 4GB so you're not having any downtime gaming, and you'll now have $500 in your pocket. And then once the GPU prices come back to more normal levels, you will now have yourself a much, much cheaper RTX 3080 Ti. In fact, you could be even saving as much as $1,300 doing this when you think about it, since the card should come back down to around $1,200 in coming months, and coupled with your $500 profit you can make now, this drop from around the $2,100 asking prices people are asking for now could leave you in a much better position. So this is simply how you juggle in the tough market where people, especially the miners, they want graphics cards with 6GB VRAM or more, which means that if you're a gamer, purely a gamer, you're going to be getting better value on cards that are 4GB and under. And I think the RX 470 right now, even though it's overpriced, it's still not as overpriced as some of these higher VRAM cards, especially the ones that can be used for mining like the Vega 64. So since you've got a card that is being targeted by Ethereum miners, I would honestly sell that, get a card that's not being targeted by Ethereum miners, and then once the price of Ethereum goes down even more and the profitability sink even more, then you can come back in and buy that higher VRAM card that was previously once targeted by Ethereum miners. So it might be weird. You came here for a recommendation to upscale. I'm recommending for the time being to run lean and downscale. And so it might seem counterintuitive. It might seem like you're part of the problem, but you're actually becoming part of the solution. And that is driving out the dumb money from the miners that are willing to pay these higher prices. And now we're going to go on to the counter argument here, because people are going to come in and go, well, Brian, mining's going to stay profitable forever. Prices of Ethereum are just going to keep going up. And if that was the case, then I don't think NVIDIA themselves or even AMD would even bother selling these cards to the public. They'd just start producing them themselves and putting them on mining benches and going, hey, what's the point of even selling these graphics cards to the public? We can just make so much money crypto mining and selling off the crypto that we don't even have to bother selling these cards to the public. But that's not the case. They're still selling the picks and the shovels, just like in the gold rush. The only people that were making money were the people selling the picks and the shovels. So if you've got the pick and the shovel, in this case, the graphics card, I would suggest selling it right now and then just waiting until the gold rush is over, and then you can buy your pick and shovel back for pennies on the dollar. Though the next example I'm going to pull up for you guys is a scary reality about how even some of these miners are coming into the market and they're losing money. And we're seeing the prices level out for these cards. From last month, we had the peak in cryptocurrency prices. We also had the peak in cryptocurrency mining profitability, and that was at an all-time high. So here's where we saw the prices of the 6700 XT, for example, that went from $1,099, already massively overpriced from its MSRP, up to $1,299. So there was a few people who bought these cards at $1,299, but we're going to pay particular attention to someone here that bought 5 cards in this listing last month for $1,299. Now, if he had waited a little bit longer, he could have saved himself roughly $600 already just by waiting to buy the cards now. So they've gone up to $1,299. Now they've gone back down now to $1,099, and he would have only made $390 profit from mining from those 5 cards in that time, at least according to what to mine. So this leaves this particular latecomer to mining in at a loss of $610 currently. However, if the prices of crypto start collapsing, then we could see this effect start to accelerate much quicker, much sooner. Though in a nutshell, I know you guys probably heard this before, but this is the time where I'm making content around it. I'm just telling people just to hold out. All the signs are pointing towards pricing coming down, and the sheer search interest in crypto is showing this as well. So actually a couple of months ago, the first time in history, the term crypto outpaced that of gaming. But now that's dropping down. The trend of gaming is actually starting to go back up again, and crypto is starting to wane off. The general interest in crypto, in other words, is dropping off. And so with all this hysteria and FOMO and Elon Musk pump tweets and the news just focused on an Elon Musk tweet sending the crypto price up and down and doggy coins 420 tweets, all that stuff along with the price is starting to drop off. And the most important thing to see with all this and all the hype and hysteria is that the dumb money has already been all soaked up. And once this money is out, it only leaves one type of money left in circulation, and that is the smart money. And the smart money, I'm going to tell you something about that. It sure doesn't want to hand it over to someone else. Smart money usually doesn't hand over smart money to someone at a grossly overpriced level, which is why I'm predicting prices will come down sooner, even within the next couple of weeks. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, then be sure to hit that like button, and also let us know in the comments section below, do you think the advice that I'm giving out here for many as a fellow PC gamer is good advice or not? Love reading those thoughts and opinions as always. And if you stayed this far and you're enjoying that Tech Yes content, be sure to smash that sub button, ring that bell to get the videos as soon as they drop. But with that aside, we've got the question of the day here. And this comes from Blub, and they ask, Best Buy in the USA sold a 3070 pre-build by CyberPower for $1,599 plus tax. Is that a good price? How does it compare to the market in Australia? And if I'm comparing this to Australia, it depends on what else is in that PC. For instance, if it's a 9400F and it's got 8 gig of RAM, it might not be a good buy. But if, for instance, it's got a Ryzen 7 3700X or it's got an i7 10700F, 16 gig or 32 gig of RAM, good power supply, SSD hard drive, the whole works, then it's actually a pretty solid price. That's a decent price for a 3070 gaming build, considering everything else matches up with that card in terms of balance. So if you were to get a 3070 build for around 2,000 Aussie dollars plus tax, which would be around $200, that would leave the build at around $2,200 for a 3070 build, which I haven't seen for a very long time here in Australia, which means to me that that is a good price. Hope that answers that question, and I'll catch you guys in another tech video very soon. Peace out for now. Bye.